Shout to the family, and I am back. On let me see if was most of y'all here from the Rod Hayes. Tell me that wasn't an amazing interview with Rod, y'all. That was a good one. Tell y'all we got a double header tonight. I'm about to bring on my next guest. I want y'all to get comfortable. But yeah, I see some of the same names. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Kingdom Child Moments, what's up, sis? New Diamonds, what's up? Good Juju. All right. And the rest of y'all up in the chat. Listen, we're gonna get to a quick commercial. Hit the like button as usual, family. Tell your friends and family that we are live. Be right back in 1 minute.
Started out with nothing. Now I got a whole lot of something. Breaking through the roof. Willy Wonka when he pressed the button. When I do a money ritual, all of a sudden money started coming. Then I cut the Holy Ghost. I still be rhyming even when I'm mumbling. You repeat my name 3 times while you staring in the mirror. Bottle will appear like poof. I came from out of thin air. To me the gun is like a magic wand. I make a problem disappear. I would knock a nigga teeth out his mouth. What? Just to turn him to veneer. I can do magic. 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 When I open up my mouth, I can move masses. Black magic on the beat, turn it to a classic. I'ma take the money out the bank, then I'ma put it in the mattress. Tell me the niggas got.
All right, and we are back. Without further ado, want to welcome back my brother KT, the arts degree. Welcome back, bro.
What's going on, brother Rich? How you doing?
Hey, man, doing good. You know, I just finished telling KT I just got some honey from KT, and I was like, yo, KT, man, goddamn. Oh man, I love that honey, y'all. I love that honey.
They still sleeping on the honey, dog. They don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But for those that have it, that have had it, that experience it, they know what that thing do.
Indeed. You got KT, I got info in the description. KT got a sale going on also. Yes. Click that link
for the listeners, for the people checking out Black Magic. It's a coupon code.
Nasuit Magic 25.
That's right.
Let me put
Spell
this
like magic with the K, like how you do. You know what I'm saying? All caps.
Let me put this in the chat real quick.
And y'all getting 25% off. Nasuit Nectar Droppers, Nasuit Nectar Jar, Chlorella, DHA, Sotriol D, and Phyto Omega 3, baby. You get 25% off DIMS items. You know what I'm saying? And it's active right now. You know, usually it's after it goes up, you know what I mean? I give it to you and it gets posted, but it's actually active. I got it done ahead of the time, sent it to you. So anybody who want to jump on any one of those, you're going to get 25% off. And for those that love the honey, y'all know that's a nice little right there. You know?
Also, family, for those who didn't see it yet, me and KT did a cooking video on my Patreon channel.
Chefed it up.
Yeah, we chefed it up. Damn, I wish I have it. Damn, I don't know why I didn't think about it. I wish.
How is that food though, Rich? What it was hitting like?
Listen, that food was perfection. It was heaven on earth. You don't get a lot of like food that's healthy on that level of electricity. It's very hard to find. It's extremely hard to find food that's on such a high level of electricity, and the palate, the taste so good, well seasoned with the spices. I mean, it's real hard to come by that. So
how you felt after you eat it?
You feel alive. You feel alive.
Right?
You feel alive.
Energized, charged up, right? You don't get itis.
No itis at all. Man. But let me play a clip for the family. I found it. Let me play a clip for the family real quick. So y'all, because this is listen, this month, because next week, y'all, real quick before we start show, next week Rod Hayes is coming on Patreon. KT, I got to get you for an episode. You know what people love about the cooking show? The biggest thing I got,
what's
even
that?
when my lady seen it, you're a scientist. So it's different. You're not just cooking. you're breaking this down. And when you hear the science of the
Behind
food,
the food, right?
it changes your perspective on what you eat even more. It's not just I'm just eating healthy because it's a fad. You now know the science behind it, and it makes sense. So the fact that you're a scientist puts you on a whole nother level from all the other cooks out there. But listen, KT, I got to get you on. We got to talk. I got to get you on again for episode 2 for this month. But family, I got Rod Hayes next week. I'm gonna talk to KT. I'm gonna have KT on the Patreon. I'm doing something with Wayne Chandler. He's going to be doing some Qigong exercises. Ooh. So it's going to be Dr. Phil Valentine's coming. It's going to be a jam-packed month on Patreon. Everybody make sure you sign up. It's going to be absolutely amazing month on Patreon. It's like the year, we ending the year off real big, y'all. But let me show y'all a clip from this cooking show because I had a real good time. It was real fun. Let me see.
We had a good time for sure.
Let me see. Give me a second. No, that's not it. Shit, I can't find it now. Okay, no.
Cooking, chefing it up.
Maybe this is it.
This is the body there.
So once again, KT, tell the people, what are you making right now?
Right now we're doing roasted okra. I got a Pyrex dish. I coated with a little olive oil on the bottom. Preheated the oven at 350 degrees. Right now I'm just slicing the okra lengthwise, all right? And placing them inside the pan. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna add some onions and bell peppers to it and a spice mix that I make. And I'm gonna tell you what's all in there. It's not hard to do at all. You're just mixing a few spices. And you're gonna do kind of a rub. I'm gonna toss them with my hands. I'm gonna put my hands in it, get my hands dirty, and mix the powder, the rub all over the okra, put a little olive oil on top, and then we're gonna cover it, throw it in the oven, and forget about it. And once we forget about it for about an hour, I'm gonna take the aluminum foil off, and then I'm gonna let it cook some more.
Let me show y'all some of the finished results.
It's gonna reduce the water.
Let me fast forward.
I thought you said you was gonna take the top off.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it. The juices from the drizzle, your bowel. Coming soon.
I'm gonna get everything situated.
Now, okra,
look at that okra, y'all.
Not done yet. What it is this is its
halfway
mid-stage.
done. It's halfway right there.
All right.
Yeah.
So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the okra around a little bit in there, and now that the aluminum foil has been lifted, it's gonna sit in the oven and it's gonna start to crisp and get its roasted look. The first stage is getting it nice and soft, all right, which it is now.
Yo, KT, me and my lady both agreed, hands down, the greatest okra I ever tasted in my life. Yo, listen.
King okra up in this piece, baby.
The best okra I have ever tasted in my life.
You gotta show them how the okra look when it's done. You gotta show them a picture of the done okra.
We got the aluminum foil Nazis in the chat. You want to comment on that, KT? The aluminum foil Nazis?
Nah, let them go off and they can stay hungry. Nah, I'm just
no, we messing with y'all.
For the aluminum foil people, we didn't wrap nothing in aluminum foil. We covered with it. You know what I'm saying? We covered with it. And yeah, you could use other means in the oven. You got what do they call it? The French pots. What do they call? It's slipping from me right now. But you got other options that you could use for the oven, obviously. But yeah, I cover with aluminum foil. I don't wrap in aluminum foil where it's touching the actual food, but I do cover the pan, you know, to trap the heat.
I mean, this was like so we had okra. Do you remember the full, what kind of okra was it? It was
well, the okra that I usually use is called Desi okra, and you'll get those at the Indian markets when you go in their produce section. You always want to get the smaller, younger okra because the larger they get, the longer that they sit on the bush, the more fibrous they become. You know, so you want a younger okra. So that's a little tease plate that I made him because it was pretty much everything was kind of done. And I
Yeah.
just put a little quinoa and some on so he could try some while I was finishing everything up. Cause like it's torture when you cooking and you smelling all of that, and you looking on you like you ready to eat. So I always put a little bit to the side. There we go. That's that okra right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put a little to the side so people could taste, and then they be like, yo. And that ain't even the taste because the food really comes through when it cools off. You know what I'm saying? Once it
Yeah.
cools off, that's when all the flavor starts to translate through.
Yeah, we had a real good time. We had a whole menu. It was fantastic. Make sure y'all sign up to Patreon. KT will be there pretty often, doing his thing with the food. So yeah, make sure y'all do that. Okay. Oh, it was roasted okra with Indian spice. That's what I wrote the name down.
Yeah, it was a blend. I talked about some of the spices that were in there.
Yeah.
But it was actually a blend of numerous spices, and then it was tossed with olive oil and the okra and the onions and the bell peppers together, put in
And
the
the
oven covered and then uncovered to roast. But
and
yeah,
the
we
cu-
go through the whole process.
and the curry zucchini, like
Mm.
the
And
curry,
yellow and summer squash and the yellow squash, right? That green and
man,
yellow, green and yellow.
man. The curry zucchini. Then we had the tricolor quinoa. It was family,
Perfect.
man.
Wasn't that perfect fluff?
Perfect, yeah. So yeah.
Consistent of that quinoa, yeah. It's yeah. You gotta be talented to get that perfect fluff with that quinoa. Some people theirs don't be cooked enough, so it's grainy. Others would be real watered down and mushy. But when you get that fluffy, ooh, that's the one, baby.
Goddess, you made up. Oh, Goddess said my quinoa didn't come out right. 3 years and I can't. Yeah, I think okra is hard to make for a lot of people.
Finger breath. Remember, anytime you cooking like grains and rice and stuff, but we doing quinoa here, right? Because I know there's the alkaline sharks in the chat, but you use finger breaths. These are what all these sections of your fingers for, right? So you rinse the quinoa. You never put quinoa directly in the water in the pot because it's gonna float like styrofoam. So you rinse your quinoa and all that first. That gets it wet and kind of not pasty, but clumpy. Put it in the pan. Then you add the water until it's covered this much of finger breath, right? Right there. You want that much water covering it. Bring it to a boil. As soon as it boils, flap, turn that thing down low and cover and let it steam, baby. Just let the steam do the rest.
Yeah, he shows the process on the video.
Yeah, watch the
watch it.
Patreon. Everything's there, man.
Yeah, he definitely shows every step of the cooking process. Hey man, so KT man, I seen to start the show, man. I seen the clip you put out. You was at InvestFest.
Yes.
And you was with the brother 19 Keys. Shout out to 19 Keys, and he was talking about sound. And I've been talking a lot about sound lately with Billy and Dr. Be Serious. And he was talking about sound and how to structure sound, the connection between sound and melanin.
Yes.
So I think that's quite interesting, and I look forward to hear what you got to say on that, because we're going to the realm where sound is becoming a medicine. People are using sound bowls. People are using different sound frequencies to heal things. There's all types of videos about sound healing certain things. So we're becoming more familiar with how important sound is and how it can be used as medicine. So I think this is a very important topic, KT. Talk to me, what does sound have to do with melanin, my brother?
All right, so when we're talking about sound, we're talking about the disturbance of the medium of air. Okay, because when there's no air, there's no sound, right? Like you talking in a room with no air, there ain't no voice coming out because you need the air there in order for sound to exist. You're disturbing the particles of air. This is how it's happening. You're hearing the stretch and the bend and everything, and it's affecting your eardrum, and that's what the sound is. So that's where we will start at, some type of disturbance that's occurring in the air around you. Now, when we look at the how our body is organized, we all know. Well, I'm not going to assume we all know. I'm going to say what I have come to know personally, and what I'm going to share with y'all is the fact that what melanin is responsible for is organization. I've brought it up on the show before. I liken melanin to a movie screen. We sit in the theater, right? We're looking at a movie, even though we know the projector's behind us and there's a beam of light shooting, right? The whole movie is in that beam of light, but we don't look for the scenes and the actors and the jokes and the punchline in that beam. We look forward at the screen, which organizes that light into something we can recognize and comprehend and enjoy. This is what melanin does. So melanin is responsible for organizing our bodies so that we can build form and structure, intelligible, functional structure, right? Now we move over to the science of somatics. And in somatics, what you have is a membrane with raw material on top. And when you apply a certain tone to it, based on the tone that is applied, that raw material will then organize into geometrical structures, right? Into forms. We start getting sacred geometrical shapes. And every time you change the tone, every time you change that frequency, it'll switch into another organizational structure. This is how sound and melanin play. Okay, so when phonons, you know what a phonon is, Rich?
Know what a photon is? What's a phonon?
Right. So what is a photon?
It's
a
like
particle of what?
Light.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think a phonon is?
Particle of sound?
Yes.
Ooh.
Right. And more than just saying that it's a particle of sound, it's really a particle of vibration. Okay. So this is why Black Panther resonated with us so much.
Yeah.
Because his suit was made out of what, Rich?
Vibranium.
So we talking about the anium of vibration, right? And what the ability of his suit was it was able to do what? Absorb all vibrations and use said vibrations as a current, a energy or charge to power the suit. So the suit could do all this fly stuff or keep charging it up and just dissipate it all at once and blow everybody. That was melanin. That's all they were showing you in that movie was, and even how his suit came on with the nano. That was the first time. Every other movie, people had to put on mask, and even Iron Man, it was sections. And this was the first time you saw something bleed all over the body.
All over, yeah.
Straight melanin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we're looking at when we see melanin is we're looking at the science of somatics taking place, where we are able to take certain sounds and the melanin can adjust those frequencies and those tunes to the necessary frequency of vibration that will turn the material matter that the melanin is dealing with into some type of form or structure. I'm going to say that again. The melanin plays a medium where it can take vibratory frequencies, tweak them to the necessary frequency it needs to be that equates into a specific geometrical pattern, and do that in mass. So all of these little star formations or curve formations or whatever will turn into this structure in this bone, this structure in this cardiac muscle. This, you know what I mean? This is why melanin exists throughout the whole body. It's not just in our skin, our hair, and our brain. It exists in all of our organs, our bloodstream, our tissue. It's everywhere. And it's responsible for keeping all of the structure and the organization of the body in tip-top shape.
I'm curious, KT. When we're talking about sound and melanin, you know, in ancient cultures, they said that the vowels was sacred sounds. So I'm curious as to how the melanin reacts to when it hears vowels. Like, is it a different? Like, is it like a something special when you say vowels to the melanin or something?
Well, yeah, because the vowels are just pitches and keys. I ain't no singer, but when you say A, E, I, O, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're all different pitches. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So depending on which one you do and whether it's the long, you know, because you got the ah, you got the A, you got the E, you know, you got the I. You can stretch them out or they can be shortened, and depending upon which type of vowel you're using is going to determine it. So, you know, we know that with the words that we use. You know, you got especially in the English language, there's a series on Instagram where the guy be comparing a lot of English words that have like similar spellings, but they sound totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like tomb and comb, you know what I mean? And bomb. You know what I'm saying? They all OMB, right?
OMB, yeah.
Right. So how is it tomb, then it's comb, but then it's bomb? You know what I mean? So we be switching them vowels up. Look at hip hop. Hip hop would not be hip hop without vowels.
Indeed.
We make words rhyme together that had no business being nowhere near each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So vowels are from what I remember, it's a vow of God. That's why it's vowel. You see what I'm saying? Like you're making a vow. It's a godly sound that you are putting out. And what consonants are, these are the things that stop. So let's get back to the whole thing about music, right? You said music is healing. What is music? Music is rhythm. What is rhythm? Rhythm is mathematics based on the pattern of a beat, right? This one is long, this one is short, short, long, short, long, long, short, long, short, long, long, short, long, right? And then you got this rhythm, you got this beat. What is stopping? What is stretching? The vowel is going to stretch. The consonant is going to stop. You see what I mean? So you're utilizing how your sentence structure and how language is in order for you to create this mathematical rhythm, right? That's going to equate in vibration, right? How do you feel when Whitney Houston sings? Huh?
Amazing.
How do you feel when you hear he from Michael Jackson?
Yeah, you feel it, man.
When Mariah Carey
hit that note. Yeah,
you know
you like, woo, you like, damn.
You know what I mean? When Lauryn Hill is killing you softly. You know what I'm saying? So there's songs, Marvin Gaye, like we go all night, Aretha Franklin, James Brown. When you hear these sounds and these tunes, they put you in certain states of mind. Now, why do our people react the way we react to music and sound so much? And that's because, you know, we're blessed to have more melanin, and we have a larger concentration of melanin in our inner ear. So this goes back to Black Panther too, because one of his number one powers was called proprioception. And proprioception is spatial awareness. This is how he could be knocked off the side of a building and flip 3-4 times, and he'll just land on his tippy toes and turn around and elbow somebody. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to do that, you have to have great awareness of what's going on around you. And, you know, if we step outside of the comic book realm and into the real world, and you look at, you know, the up and coming football players, you know, the wide receivers, they out here stunting, you know, jumping up, doing 3 spins around, catching the ball one hand like that. Like, how do you do that? You know, and that comes from a certain level of equilibrium that exists in your inner ear, and that's based on these crystals, these otolith crystals, as well as the melanin that exists in there as well.
You was just talking about the guy on TikTok with the words that sound similar. You just mentioned the melanin in the inner ear. When you have ear, you also have hear, ear, hear. So what is there like some type of connection between us hearing and the hear that we have on our head, which they say is an extension of our nervous system?
Yeah, because the things that you use to hear in the ear are hairs.
I didn't know you
How
was
about
going
that?
there. I didn't know you was going there. That was good. Okay.
Huh?
I didn't know you was going there, KT.
That what you
Okay.
wanted?
All right. You got me.
Nah,
Right.
we
All
definitely
right.
got hairs in
In
our
the
ear that
ears.
help us hear. Not
Ear.
just that. What is the name of the membrane that's in our ear?
The ear, what? The eardrum? Eardrum. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So we got an eardrum off the rip.
Yeah.
We even got a hammer. We got a stirrup and we got a hammer. These are these bones that
Yeah.
exist inside of the ear. Right. Then you got the cochlea. Right. You got the cochlea. The cochlea is a spiral, right, that looks like a snail shell
Mhm.
that exists up in there, filled with fluid and melanin. Right. That ain't it. Then we got the semicircular canal, which they showed. People don't even know this. I'm about to blow all y'all mind.
Uh-oh.
Check this
Go
out.
ahead, KT.
Go back and watch the original Avatar. When you go back to the holy space, where the spirit tree was at, there's a rock structure, and it's an arch going straight up, right, like that. Then there's an arch going at 45 degrees, and then there's an arch on the ground, 90 degrees from the main arch. Go back and watch the original Avatar movie where the spirit tree is, and they would all come and commune and everything and have their meetings. It's a sacred space. I forget what the name of the area was, the area of the ancestors or something like that, right? That is the semicircular canals that exist inside your ear. And what does this 90, 45, what do these three things represent? They represent the planes that you experience in motion. You got it in your ears.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we also hear with our nose, Rich. Our nose are ears.
I did not know that. I think I might have heard you say that before.
Our nose are ears. And how are our nose ears? Our nose are ears because the way that we smell is based on the vibration that occurs in the bonds of the molecules that we're smelling. It was always thought that our smell operates like pegs and peg holes. You know, you put the square in the square hole, you put the circle in the circle hole, you put the, you know what I mean, and you fit it in. So, you know, if I'm smelling basil got a bunch of triangles. So there's a triangle hole in my nose, and when the basil triangle molecule fit in the triangle nose, it click, it sent a signal. Oh, right. That's basil.
Right.
But no, that ain't what it is. It's actually the type of bond that exists between the atoms in that molecule. There's a vibration like a guitar. Bong, bong, ding, bong. That's basil. Then bong, bing, bong, bong. That's pineapple. Brum, that's cayenne pepper. You see what I'm saying? And they did an experiment with fruit flies with orange blossoms. And what they did is they deuterated and made like a fake kind of orange blossom scent on one side, and then they put the natural orange blossoms on the other side, and they released the fruit flies. And because it was a different bond angle, right, they all still went to the original blossoms. None of them went to the other ones, you know. So they did a lot of experiments to conclude like the quantum effects that occur in smell, and that smell is actually a situation where our nose is listening to vibrations in bond angles to determine the aroma and the fragrance.
So KT, one of the things you always tell us is to get outside. You know, you have simple solutions for us to do. You say get outside, get some sun, be in nature. We're talking about melanin and melanin's connection with the structure of sound. One of the things nature provides is an abundance of sounds, from the birds to animals to all types of things in nature. My question to you is, are we able to get somewhat of a benefit from the sound in nature say if it's in digital form on a computer, if I'm listening to a bird chirp on a computer, does that hit my melanin in my body the same
yeah.
way if it was in nature? And if not the same way, does it still help me if just listening to nature on the computer, the sounds of nature?
Well, yes, listening to nature sounds on, your phone and everything like that is definitely better than listening to some heavy metal song going off
Right,
with jackhammers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the sound of nature is going to be far superior.
Definitely.
Every sound in nature actually has its own frequency that resonates with things that go on in your body and your thoughts and your mind. Like cicadas in the trees. You know what I mean? If you sit there and you listen to that, right? And in the tree, the leaves are rustling along with it with the wind.
Yeah.
Like that's doing something to your nervous system. You know what I mean? It's doing something, it's regulating your fluids are going to start moving a certain way. As you connect with that, you're going to breathe with it. It teaches you how to breathe, how to slow your breathing down because they're not moving fast with it. Then at nighttime, you hear the crickets. You know what I'm saying? They have a rise and a fall. The frogs, they have a rise and a fall. The frogs are dope because there'll be a group of them together. Then there'll be another group together, but they're not clashing. And they got this kind of little dance going on between the 2 and 3 groups, and then you follow them. Then you might hear a bird over there making one call. Bah, 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 bah. Then a bird over here be like, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
Bah, bah, bah. Meow, 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 meow. Right? Then the next thing you know, you hear that on Timberland. You know what I'm saying? And be on the next hit,
Yeah.
So nature is the greatest inspiration for music because it's always on the one. It's always hitting. There's never a time nature is off beat. You know what I'm saying? You can always go there and center yourself. You can always go there and get inspired. You can always go there and catch your breath and be able to regulate. You get upset, you get anxiety, you stressed out, you off center. You can go outside and listen to the sounds of nature is going to get you there. And how the melanin plays a role in all of that is it's going to because I said melanin is able to take these vibrations and tune it into what it is. What happens when the sound is already divine? What happens when it's already divine? Now that melanin is pulling in some divine vibrations, what is it going to tweak that into? You see? So that's what we got to think about. Not so much feeding trash into the machine to turn it into gold, but what happens when you start with gold? What's going to come out on the other end?
Indeed. When you talked about the hair in the nose and us being able to hear with our nose, I'm curious as to, and we talked about hear and hearing. Is it that anywhere on the body there's hair we could hear on that part of the body? So like if we have hair in our legs are able to hear certain things. Is that how it works, KT?
So we have what do they call Persini corpuscles and I think they're called Merck disc. They're all these little circular nerve endings that exist in our skin. They're pressure sensitive and they're right next to the hair follicles and shaft. So, when the wind blows and it moves, we can feel the subtleties of that. How about when you're in a room and you get a chill? Like it ain't no breeze.
Yeah, I know exactly what
Ain't
you're talking about.
nobody in there. Yo, why is my hair standing up right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's there. Our hair is sensitive. You look at insects. What do insects have all over their legs? What's all over a roach leg? Don't y'all act like y'all don't know what roach legs look like. Everybody that had roaches one point in time. Y'all done seen a roach. What the roach legs look like? What do fly legs look like? What do every insect leg got hairs all over it? And those hairs are extensions of the nervous system to pick up the subtle perturbations, disturbances that's occurring in the air pressure. It picks that up and it distributes that information into the nervous system so it could get turned into what it is, so you can be aware of your surroundings. So we have all our senses all over our body. We have melanopsin and rhodopsin in all of our cells. These are photoreceptor proteins, meaning we have it all over. We're an all-seeing eye. But when we're talking about olfactory molecules that deals with the nose, those olfactory receptors exist in all of our skin cells all over our body. So we smell all over. We're a whole nose.
State.
When you like something that smells good, you don't just be like, "Oh, that's good." You be like, the whole body.
The whole body. Yeah, you're right. That's some deep shit.
Whole body sniff.
Yeah,
what Dre 3000 of them used to say, "You smell me." You know what I mean? Yeah. So smelling is and the reason why smelling is so big is because it represents how we filter the world. We are different from the animals because we have a frontal lobe. You know, when you look at gorillas and monkeys, they don't have a frontal lobe like this. It slopes back. You know, we got this forehead, so we got this extra section. This is the what's connected to our nose. So our frontal lobe in our brain is used to filter the world. This is how we are able to kind of like curb our animalistic nature. And when you drink, what ends up happening is you inhibit your frontal lobe. This is why you get brave or you do things you normally wouldn't do, because you pretty much wiped your nose out. And if you drink enough, you also notice when you eat food, you really don't taste the food the same, smell the food the same either, because you've abrupted that filtration system that you would normally be using.
Damn, my brother. So let me ask you this, KT. A wonderful conversation so far on here, and how how important
now, don't
it is.
Forget locality right here.
What you mean?
Because you said hair. Right? You said here, but also, how about, like I was saying, proprioception, spatial awareness? How about right here? Like,
right. Let me ask you this, KT. Wow, that was deep. When seeing how powerful here is, the here that we have, and how it serves many more purposes than what we think it serves. One of the most sacred acts, KT, that we do in this realm, on this plane of existence, is sex. How does having sex with a man with here on his area, a woman with here on her area, and they get together and they have sex? How is that different from, if, let's say, because if in our culture the woman shaves her vagina, a lot of women, she shaves her vagina, she gets the what's it called, the Brazilian wax.
The wax.
So dudes is having,
brothers is waxing too.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother topic, but I mean, so how different is sex when two people still have hair versus a sister got a Brazilian wax, whatever?
Well, the hair is the extension of the nervous system. And when you look at the body, the most melanated areas of the body are the joints, right? And the reproductive area. You know what I mean? You can be light-skinned in the mug and your balls
is dark
from the Congo. You know what I'm saying? So that hair is going to be an extension of some very potent and strong high energy nerves. So that hair is part of the experience that you're having in sex. You're going to be producing a lot of oils too. Now, I know a lot of women, they say they shave because, it could trap odor and everything like that. And the same thing with men, but it's like, yeah, that's why you cleanse yourself. That's why you eat right. You know what I mean? That's why you air it out. That's why I tell women, you need to put the kitty in the sun. Stop putting the cat in the closet and let that cat go outside.
It
needs to get in the sun. So we need to have that thing breathe, and when we take care of those areas and we're hygienic in those areas, then we produce we produce our own perfumes and our own colognes and oils and fragrances. And now those hairs are making love to each other the same way we are. And we're making a connection. Remember in Avatar, this is how you knew they was about to get it on, yo. They connected their braids together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got that from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we get it on, and you know, we all know the hair down there ain't like the hair up here. It's two different textures. You know what I'm saying? That thing gonna hook up. It's gonna hook up and link up, and you exchanging. Then I think it also helps a lot with the transmitted diseases too, because you know, we get together, we might be on different vibes. Our bodies could be going through totally different things, and I think it helps a lot with getting us on the same page also.
No, indeed. Wow. Let's talk about the voice. We're talking about melanin and this connection to sound, the structure of sound. What makes Black people's voice so deep? What's the science behind our voice? Because we live in a society where we try to hide that a lot. A lot of the things that we are gifted in, we look at it as a curse. So we'll make our voice more nasal, or wear perma here. We try to get rid of everything that we was blessed with. So what's the science behind having a deep voice? What effect does that have on matter?
I mean, you know, I don't know what you mean by that.
All right,
you know what I'm
all right,
saying?
Barry
You know,
White.
I don't
All right, Barry White.
I don't know exactly what you mean by that, brother, but nah, that, you know, so when we're dealing with man and woman, you know, we look for a certain pitch with the female, which is usually a higher pitch, and they definitely look for the low. So when you look in hip hop, you think of the greatest MCs. You know, Tupac used to go into the booth, his neck would turn into Mike Tyson's neck. Right. All of a sudden he'll have this voice of God coming out. Biggie Smalls, which is a combination of a baritone and a nasal. You know what I'm saying? And he would, how about Barry White? You know what I mean? Killing them, you know, and then more recently, who transcended Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was about to take off.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we definitely all resonate to that deep voice because it goes down to the bass. And, you know, we all 808 lovers. We all deal with that bass frequency. We know that that's what shakes things up, you know? So all of us are drum people, as I just mentioned with the 808, and that's kind of what that baritone, that deepness is. It's like a combination of that drum and that bass at the same time. It is the it's the foundation, it's the rock that the church was built upon. You're a producer. Producers usually start with what? You starting with drum, you starting with bass, that carries the song. You know, you put those things down, and then you start putting the bells, the whistles, the little reverbs, you put all that stuff on top of it. But the core of the song is always, you know, that snare, that kick, that bass, you know.
Indeed. Yeah. In terms of the Schumann resonance, is there any connection between the Schumann resonance and melanin? Like, is there any type of
Oh yeah. Most definitely. So when we talking about the Schumann resonance, we're talking about the 7.83 hertz that occurs. This is the measurement of all of the lightning, you know, that is striking all over the earth and everything. So it's essentially, it's a heartbeat, you know. So if we talking Schumann resonance is a heartbeat, what is our heartbeat? Okay, so our heartbeat is the collective rotational spin of ATP synthase. I love being able to show so people can see this wonderful technology. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So we got millions of these inside of our heart, spinning 1,500 times.
Yeah, right there. What's that? What's the name again?
This is an enzyme called ATP synthase. This is what makes your ATP.
Okay.
All right. It's a stator and a rotor, right?
And energy.
Right. This is where our energy is made, and they all exist inside this bad boy right here. Right. Now, we was just talking about the baritone, the bass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what does the heart do? Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Now, in order for the heart to do that, you have all of these cardiac cells, right? Cardiocytes that are constantly squeezing and releasing and pumping. What is coordinating this? Okay, you're going to have these specialized nerve endings, and then you got 40,000 neurons,
Mm.
not nerves. I'm talking brain
Brain. Yeah.
neurons that
Mm.
exist inside this heart. What do you think is inside those neurons? What do you think is inside those nerves? It's melanin helping to coordinate that beating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the same way that there's a pulse to the earth, there's a pulse inside you, and it's
Mm.
coordinated by that melanin. You might say, well, then what's the melanin that exists in the earth? I'm like, yo, we're carbon-based life forms. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So you're gonna find something called the mycelium network that innervates throughout all life on the planet. And one of the number one producers of melanin on this planet is fungi.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
So yeah, this is
Your Rod Hayes just told us about a trip he had on shrooms, man. It was an
oh
amazing
yeah.
trip. Yeah, it was an amazing trip.
Come
You gotta
on,
watch.
man.
I'm
You already
gonna post the clip. When I post the clip, I'm gonna send it to you so you can hear it.
listen.
It was real interesting.
The mushrooms, like, people are opening more and more up to it now. More studies is coming out, more information is coming out, more experiences are coming out, and it's like this is what you're able to do inside yourself already. When you're in complete darkness for long periods of time, you're going to produce DMT all on your own, and you're going to go on these journeys and these experiences because it's like your body's going to always adapt. If you're sitting in darkness, then the body's like, oh, we ain't doing nothing. There ain't no activity. We can't go nowhere. We ain't lifting them. We ain't using no muscles. Okay, we're going to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
So then the adventure becomes within,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to light the way. And you have all of the technology, everything you need inside to light it up. Melanin is going to help with that because it is able to absorb all frequencies of light, including sound. So now that's the ultimate aspect of how sound and melanin relate. So peep this one. So we know sound is something that you hear. It ain't something that you see, right? You don't see sound, do you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hear it, yeah.
Right. But what if I told you that is the power of melanin right there? Melanin takes phonons,
Mm-hmm.
takes frequencies of sound, and is able to take that and turn it into light, which becomes something visual,
Mm.
And we know this because we all got a voice in our head, but when we are able to hear this voice or whatever is being said, we can always attach something visual along with it. What is creating this visual image that we're able to see based on the words that we're hearing? So we take that power for granted because there are people that are not able to visualize. Like you could tell them, imagine a turtle or
Yeah.
think of the moon, they won't see it in their head,
Mm-hmm.
and we're able to do that. We're able to produce those images inside of us because the melanin is there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. What, I know some people that take shrooms, they say you could go in the inner world and visit certain organs, certain parts of your body.
Yes.
If you was on shrooms, KT, and they said melanin is an intelligence, and you encountered melanin since it's an intelligence on shrooms, what would the visual of melanin on shrooms look like, KT?
Luke, I am your father.
Man, like that?
Straight up Darth Vader, bro.
Shit. Yeah. Say he
You know what I'm
Darth Vader.
saying? Straight up
Wow.
Darth Vader. People don't even know Darth Vader was a giant phallus. Did you know he was a black penis?
I might have heard Phil say that one time.
Look at him. Look at his helmet.
Yeah, I might have heard Phil
That's
say
the head. That's the head of the penis, and then he got the cloak, so it's just a straight shaft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know if you want to last longer and you want to really satisfy a woman, you got to focus on your breath. That's all Darth Vader do when he walk around, is straight breathing.
Yeah.
But nah, if I had the ability to meet melanin as a sentient being, melanin's gonna look like me. It's gonna be me, because it's going to be me looking at myself. It's gonna be that intelligence, you know. And it's going to take that particular form, something that you understand, you know, and that you can relate to, because that's all we are. We're nothing but melanin. We were melanin from, there's melanin in the sperm, there's melanin in the egg. When they come together, there's a reason why you can't see what happens when the sperm and the egg collide and that explosion takes place. Scientists still can't look inside. Is black because the melanin takes over that whole layer and you can't even see in there. Wow. All they know is there's a wash of energy. It's like spirals. They was able to see like the electrons and the electricity that occurs. And there's all these spirals that occur, right? That pop up all over the egg or the ovum at that time, or the zygote rather. But melanin is there. Melanin is there when it turns into those 3 layers of skin, the endoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm. Melanin is there when it turns into the morula, which is a collection of the first cells. That is called a blackberry. Why you call it a blackberry? You know what I'm saying? So you know, we see it through all the early stages of development, all the way up. Melanin is all we know. It is what is shaping this world into something that is intelligent and full of a design that serves, you know, the proper functionality. You know,
very, very interesting stuff tonight. Very interesting stuff tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You mentioned the heart having 40,000 neurons. And you know, where there's neurons, there's brain activity.
That's right.
So you could think with your heart, not just with your brain. My question to you, KT, is do you have neurons in your penis? A lot of brothers, the reason why I ask this, a lot of brothers when they have sex, it's like after they nut, they're like, oh shit, what did I just do?
What did I do?
What did I just do? They like, oh shit, I can't. It did, and they tell a woman, yo, I wasn't thinking with my head. She'd be like, nigga, you wasn't thinking with your head, and they literally wasn't. It seems like they wasn't thinking with their head.
So I'm gonna take you one step further. The penis is a microcosm of your whole body.
Yeah.
There's lungs. Kidney,
you know, you're right. Yeah, Dr. Light, yeah, you're right. And each part, and
just like I was saying, Darth Vader's helmet represents the head, so you know that's the brain. Very sensitive part, right?
Wow.
So yeah, another thing that takes place is the fact that, you know, in order for you to get erect, there has to be a large flow of blood that takes place there. You know, it goes in there, stays in it, and it recycles, you know, in that area. You're dealing with your lower chakra right now, right? And the sacral chakra right now. So yeah, you don't have as much blood in the brain and other areas of the body at that time. Most of that is going to be focused in your core, your lungs for breathing, you know what I mean? Thighs and that air. That's why that area is so hot, because all the blood, all that iron and everything is going to be focused in that area. So ain't gonna be too much thinking. And let me tell you this: thinking is the death of sex for a man. Yeah, when there's men that will agree with me on that. If you overthink being in the bed with any woman, right, you're gonna have problems.
Shit ain't gonna get up.
Yeah, it ain't gonna get up, or it's gonna go up, go down, or you ain't gonna you ain't gonna be moving the right way. Emotion is tripping, you know. So the best thing, and this is why, you know, when women say, oh, I want a great man, I want a nice man, I want a good man, but you always see him with Pookie and Ray Ray. You know what I'm saying? Because Pookie and Ray Ray ain't overthinking it.
Right. No fact. Hey.
Like they come over, they handle their business, they give them exactly what they need. So we have to be able to kind of like leave the world out of it and be in the moment. Like the moment is that woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't even you don't need to be thinking about her. You need to experience her.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And to experience her requires no thought at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just experience it, because it's like everything is right there. Like you don't need no manual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to talk to you, KT, about gravity and melanin. When we get on a rebounder, they say that's beneficial. When we're like bouncing when in the air, when we're kids, we're constantly trying to defy gravity as a child. They say one of the most beneficial things you could do is inversions, where you flip your body upside down and you just stay upside down. What's the deal with gravity and its effect? Is it harming us in terms of our production of melanin? And should we do activities like rebounding or other activities where we I guess we're in the air for
Biometrics.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the proprioception I was talking earlier, in regards to the Black Panther, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
So when you have this advanced way that the melanin exists inside your inner ear, right? And that whole area inside the head is just on another level. Now you're able to perform way more abilities, so you see these football players, these basketball players, these gymnasts, doing these amazing feats. That's because they're harvesting the power and the energy from the melanin in this inner ear in relation to the rest of the body. They're able to puppeteer the body and coordinate the body better. The body it has all of these moving parts, but when you tune it the right way, you can unify it into one being. And once you do that, then you can move that entity through time and space and do fabulous things, and it's all based on the science of motion. And what is that? Kinesiology, I believe, is study of movement and dynamic movement and everything like that. But yes, it's just proprioception. We're very advanced with it because of the melanin that we have. We have our bones are more dense. We have fast twitch muscle activity as opposed to slow twitch muscle activity with our muscle fibers. And then we have a different way that our fascia, which is the spider web that innervates our entire body and wraps up our muscles and is the holster for all of our organs sitting in, and is a storage for energy. It's spun differently within our phenotype as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
See a quick question from Wild Rose. I seen this early. She wants to know, how does lotion affect our melanin receptors?
Well, oil actually helps our melanin receptor because all pigments is oil based. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people that deal with certain herbs and or foods, and they're like, oh man, I'm not really getting the activity from them that I want, is because you're using water instead of an oil. Now when you're dealing with most of these lotions, they're just a bunch of chemicals. So they're gonna clog your pores. You know what I mean? And when you clog your pores, then you're definitely gonna affect the upper layer of your skins, and then the melanin is gonna get affected in that way also. So you want to make sure that you're exfoliating, you are doing hot cold baths, because when you go in a shower and you turn the water cold for like 10 seconds and then hot and then cold and hot and cold and hot, then you do this with your sweat pores. And when you do this with your sweat pores, it makes a pumping action of the lymphatic, right? And now your fluids start moving and everything is opening up, so you want to do things like that. And then you want to make sure that you're putting natural oils on your body. You could make a natural lotion, but most of the lotions are laden with an abundance of chemicals, and yes, they're going to clog your pores, and they're definitely going to affect how your melanin reacts with your environment.
On TikTok, dudes was talking about cold showers is one of the best ways to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
It's the best way to lose weight, more for Caucasians than our people. It helps us too, but not at the same rate. And I'll explain why. You got UDP1. And what UDP1 is a protein that exists inside of the mitochondria. So you got shivering thermogenesis and you got non-shivering thermogenesis. Shivering thermogenesis is just like it sounds. You get cold, ooh, right? You're doing that, and that's causing your muscles to vibrate and shake. That's going to create heat, right? Non-shivering thermogenesis is this UDP1 that exists in the mitochondria, as opposed to you making ATP, like I was speaking before. It shuts down the ATP synthase, and instead of hydrogen powering that to make ATP, it floods into the mitochondria and it creates heat as a byproduct. This is why Caucasians can jump in cold water and walk around in booty shorts when it's 10 below zero and stuff like that and not feel nothing, because they're adapted to the cold and they have that UDP1 protein. I mean, UCP1 protein, uncoupling protein 1 is what it's called. We have it too, but not as much. So they did a study where they had a group of white males and a group of black males in cold water. And, you know, we were good up to a certain point. And then after that, you know, we started having, you know, certain inflammatory effects started happening in our body, where the Caucasian males, it didn't happen for them for a longer period of time, you know, because they polar bears. You heard say, you know what I'm saying? That's what they there for. We can rock in the cold, but we ain't meant for the cold. We thrive in the heat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
it works for a lot of cold. I'm not saying that you can't when you get in, you do cold showers, you do the cold submersion baths. Even when you put cold water in your sink in the morning, and the women, y'all put y'all face in that cold water, you know what I mean? Hold your breath, count to like 15, 20, come out and dunk it about 3-4 times. When you come up at the end and you blot your face, you're going to see how young and youthful your face look. So it can be used to a certain degree, but not to as much as the extreme as it does for other phenotypes.
Indeed. Yeah. We passed the hour mark, family. Let me take a couple of questions from y'all. Give me some questions for KT. I'm gonna take a couple of questions before we get out of here. A couple of reminders for everybody. There's a 25% off sale.
Yes.
On KT's website. The info is in the description, and I'll post it again. There's also a coupon code. So I'm about to post
the coupon code is Nessuit Magic.
Yeah, 25.
Nessuit Magic, all caps. Nessuit Magic 25. Magic with a K, not a CK, just a K. And if you put that in, you're going to get 25% off Nessuit Nectar Jar, 25% off Nessuit Nectar Dropper, 25% off Sotriol D, our vitamin D tablets, 25% off Chlorella, 25% off DHA, and 25% off Phyto-Omega-3, the great marine phytoplankton that we carry. So all of those items, you can get 25% off right now. It's available. Go to the site, soionicbotanicals.com, and, you know, get what you need to get for yourself and yours.
All right. Renee said, Brother Rich, can we any way we could get the 7 sacred? I think you mean prayer. Yeah, you got to buy the did you buy the workshop? If you bought the workshop, you should have got an email to you. If you didn't get it, email me at richandmerit@yahoo.com, and I'll look into your receipt and make sure you purchase it, and I'll send it right over to you. But that is exclusive if anybody asking with the purchase of the workshop. Is not like a separate thing. That's just like bonus content. Somebody said prayers before. You didn't get it either, Renee? Oh, that's you're the same person. Okay. All right, yeah. You've been waiting on a month. Yeah, email me, Renee, because I done been sent them out several times. You should have been got it. Check your spam, your promotions folder. But hit me up, Rich and Merit, RICHINMERIT @yahoo.com. and I'll take care of you tonight. I'm sending them out after the show tonight, so hit me up and we'll get into that. I'll send that over to you, okay? Mistress Forgiveness wants to know what mushrooms does he recommend?
What mushrooms are we talking about, Mistress? Well, if we're talking about psychedelic, there's a lot of strands. Penis envy is one of the most popular. You got tamarin blue, you got pink buffalo, you got Amazonian tidal wave. I just heard about flying saucer. You know, yeah, right. You can just imagine what that boy do.
Flying saucer.
Flying
Wow.
saucer.
Whoa.
So you know, there's all types of strands. Some are more potent than others. I always suggest people start off microdosing, you know, and kind of get the medicinal effects and some of the mood lifting effects initially. And then that's anything up to a gram, you know, and then you could like get into like maybe 2 to 2.5, you know, and that's going to give you, you know, a little stronger experience and feeling, you know, still a feel good, some colors, not so much hallucinogenic, but everything is kind of like it's definitely a different world you're in. And then, you know, after that time, you got the heroic dose, and that's the serious portions right there, you know. But yeah.
They want to know, and I seen somebody, a couple of people asked this earlier, when is more duck flower coming in?
Yeah, so we're you know, we got to get it in the country. So sometimes we have customs issues. And then we also have to deal with the season. And you know, the duck flower is not grown on a farm. You know what I mean? This is harvested in the jungle. You know what I mean? So it's a whole process involved, but you already know the minute that we get stocked back up with it again, I'll be making the announcement. I'll be hitting Rich up like, yo, we need to just do a duck flower show. You know?
When he get it this time, I didn't try it yet, family. I'm finally trying it when he gets it this time.
Yeah, man. You gotta
finally.
You know, I keep one on deck at least, and you know what I'm saying? That's a huge one. I soaked in some water, that thing about to fluff all the way up, you know.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, Sabi, smells so good. Sabi would give it to the people fresh though, like straight off the vine, you know.
Wow.
And yeah, them things ain't no joke.
Can you talk about the connection between melanin and chi energy?
Oh yeah. So that's funny because it's like in Spider-Man. I always felt I have a connection with Spider-Man when I watched the movie. His opening line in Across the Spider-Verse, I was like, oh yeah, they definitely watching me because I say this all the time. He was like, why do people say ATM machine? Because the M stands for machine. So you just saying ATM, you say it automatic teller machine. You know what I mean? And later in the movie, when he meet the Indian Spider-Man, he was like, oh, I love chai tea. Chai tea. Chai means tea. You know what I mean? So you like TT. So when you're saying chi, you already saying energy. You know what I mean? So when I say people say chi energy, I'm like, energy, you know?
Yeah.
But no, melanin and energy, as I just explained. So energy is stored, and you use energy for work. We usually mistake work for energy, but work is actually the dissipation and the discharge of energy. That's the difference. Melanin has the ability to store energy and to also be able to channel said energy through the proper meridian channels in the body. Okay, so that when it's time for that energy to be tapped into and used for things, it's flowing, you know, in its proper channels. You know, so you could liken melanin to, if you think of energy like water, right, that has to flow, then melanin is irrigation. Okay, it is the channel that is built in order for the water to be carried the most efficiently. Okay, so that's how melanin and chi mixes, is that it is able to maximize, utilize energy to its most usable point where nothing is wasted. You try not to waste nothing. Yeah.
Indeed. Let's somebody said, did your product still? Y'all gotta talk like with proper grammar, y'all, so we can understand you.
Did your product still good as
That's
long as it never opens, son? Did your
Yeah.
product still good as long as it never opens? You heard?
Bro, y'all, come
That's
on,
like
y'all.
some 1989 Brooklyn slang.
Yeah.
Let me see. Did your products still good as
I think,
long?
are your
Okay,
products still good?
are your products still
Still
good
good as long as
it's never
he meant to say,
open?
are your products? Yeah.
How long does your products last, KP?
Whew,
I think that's what you're trying
man,
to say.
shit.
All right. So if you're dealing with tonics should be refrigerated. Things like juglidine and histonic, like you could leave them out. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna go bad, you know, but
Right.
I still suggest they get refrigerated. All of the dry products, you could leave them out. All of the bulk teas, the bulk herbs, the purple sea moss, the Fido, the perilla oil, the Bantana, all of that could get left out. The honey, definitely do not refrigerate, left out. Honey is going to last indefinitely. All those powders are going to last for years as well. The only thing that really needs to be refrigerated is like the C3 and the tonics.
Okay. Does melanin work similar to how you said the birds use their energy when they fly?
Ooh, yeah. Well, I'm about to blow your mind, brother. What you think feathers is made of, dog?
Uh-oh.
Hell. You ever seen a raven? You ever seen a crow? You ever seen a vulture? They just black. That's all melanin. When you pull them feathers out, all of them strands, they different colors. You know, them blues, them reds, and them are colors. They're using those colors in order to charge and discharge energy because their bones are hollow. They mad light. You know what I'm saying? As they're in the sky. And what they're doing is they're dealing with like static forces in order to help them. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to flap my wings and keep them up. No, the flapping is just creating like a bubble around them, a disturbance around them. But there's also a static force that's occurring too, a repelling force. There's different factors happening that encourage this bird to fly. But their feathers, which is the main vein in regards to them taking flight, the geometry, the shape, it's the color of the melanin on the feathers and the fact that melanin is responsible for shaping them feathers. So, yeah.
Indeed. Will the honey help diabetes?
Definitely, because of trehalulose, which is the rarest sugar in the world. It digests 3 times slower than any other sugar, which means it has a low, super low, extremely low glycemic index. It's pancreatoprotective, meaning it protects the pancreas. You know what I mean? And it helps to clean all of those. Where's my babies at? Ew. So this is hemoglobin. And this is candy coated hemoglobin. Those blues, that's when you got diabetes, the sugar attaches to it and it becomes candy coated like an M&M. So it helps you get all of that off. That's what the honey do for you. 25% off sale, baby. Y'all better get on it. Get on it.
Yo, the honey it does good with my skin, I noticed, the honey.
Oh, it's amazing for the skin.
My skin reacts real good to the honey, yeah.
Yes, if you got any cut, any sore, a pimple, rash, put it on there. Bags under the eyes, put it on there. You know what I mean? You want to make a face mask, put it on there. It's going to make your skin younger. Yeah, it's amazing for the skin.
Somebody says, KT, what aquatic plants do you recommend?
Ooh, sea moss. Now I'm assuming she's talking consuming. I don't know if she's talking about
this
like
a dude, big bro. This a dude, big bro 810.
Yeah, so you know, if you're talking, you know, in the home and stuff, you know, lilies. I love herb wise. I like gravel root, the duck flower that always grows by the water. You know, that's where you're gonna find it at when you harvest it in the jungle. It's gonna be somewhere near water.
Right.
But yeah, gravel root is always found near the water. You know, all of the algae, of course, are gonna be real good. But yeah, you know, if you're talking aquatic plants, we're gonna get into the sea vegetables, definitely.
Somebody asked what the code is. The code is in a suit. I just posted it in the chat again. It's in a
Nessuit
suit
Magic
magic
25.
25. Yeah, I just posted it in the chat.
NESUTMAGIK 25.
Yeah, I just posted it in the chat. Make
That's
sure
it,
y'all.
baby.
Somebody said, where's it at? Can we extract melanin from the body?
Oh yeah. Your hair, you can extract melanin from your hair. You can extract melanin from the tissues. You know, I haven't done that yet, but that's, you know, that's why you have a lot of missing people. You know, matter of fact, they just had a bust take place. I can't remember what city this was, but there was a center, a biomedical center that the FBI just busted, and there was trash cans, big garbage cans, right? Filled with limbs, bro.
Oh God,
Legs,
Jesus.
arms.
Wow.
They had a torso with somebody's head sewn onto it that they were selling for $7,500.
Yo.
Penises. Just a bucket of penises.
Yo.
Busted,
Wow.
bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send you the clip. But you a lot of these biomedical facilities, you know, they extract melanin from bodies all the time. When you deal with these wars in Africa, what do you think these bodies is for? They extract the melanin out.
Yeah.
You can get melanin out of plants. You can get melanin out of fungi, you know. So yeah, you could definitely extract melanin out of a lot of different things.
Wow, that's crazy what you just told me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
Somebody is asking about a super chat. Give me. Oh, I see you, Kev. All right, yeah. All right. I think this is going to be the last question before we get out of here, family. Okay, brother KT. When we speak, we send out a sound wave. When we think, we send out a brain wave. How are we able to hear our inner, but not hear others' inner voice? All right, Kev. I hear you, Kev.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Because we don't allow it. We're all separated. We're not at a point of resonance where we let each other in like that. But when you take mushrooms, you do. I've taken mushrooms with women before, and in doing that, we've communicated telepathically.
I remember you told me, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell a joke and they'll laugh, and I ain't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll be like, what? You know what I mean? They'll react. So it's definitely possible. We just have to vibrate higher. We're just not at that vibratory frequency. We're constantly distracted. We're in an environment where we're vibrating low. Now we're radiated. So it's like we're not at that level. But when we do get on that level, when we do vibrate higher, and when we do get away from the distractions and we're kind of in a sacred space together, that happens. And it pops up from time to time in the home. You know that. You know what I mean? Especially amongst our people. We in a room, you know, somebody come up in there and we look at each other. We know exactly what we thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you heard me, I heard you, and we just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So we do it. It's just a little bit more isolated on the everyday. And if we want it to be something constant, we have to make an agreement with each other, because that's really stepping into someone else's personal space. And then you get into like mental rape. You know what I'm saying? Forcing yourself on other people's thoughts and everything like that. So, you know, we haven't developed that level of trust amongst each other as brothers and sisters yet to allow that power to flourish.
Indeed. Man, KT, man, I want to thank you for coming on once again, bro. Another amazing show.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. We're gonna wrap it up right now, family. Leave all your information one more time.
Yes.
Anything you got coming up, anything, let them know, KT.
KT the Arts Degree on IG, on YouTube. I'm on TikTok now, Rich.
I gotta get on there. Damn,
I'm on TikTok, man.
Oh man, congrats.
Yeah. Find me on TikTok. You know, I got my personal stuff on Patreon. I'm about to drop this interview I did with Dr. T. Owens Moore. We talking about melanin. He's one of the you know what I'm talking
I got his
about.
book. I got his book.
There
Wow.
we go.
He's a
He is
legend.
one of
That's
the
a
most
legend.
advanced,
That's a
legendary
legend.
masters when it comes to melanin. And I
Yeah.
interviewed him on melanin, and it's dynamic. And I'm gonna I was thinking about putting it on Patreon and everything like that. I said, no, everybody needs to see this. So it's going up on YouTube. It'll be there. So I'll be dropping that soon. I have another interview with 3 Millie about the drop. I just did an interview with Dr. Holistic with Bobby Price. So that'll be coming out soon. I'm gonna be doing I have some ebooks that are gonna be dropping this holiday season. I've been pinning it up, so we're gonna drop those. What else I have coming up? Me and you definitely about to do another cooking joint. People got to stay tuned for that. And I think that's everything right now. Yeah. So go to So Ionic Botanicals .com to the website. Once again, the coupon code is Nesut Magic 25. Nesut Magic 25 NESUT MAGIK 25. Oh, that's what's up, New Diamonds. Thank you. That's the coupon code for you to get 25% off select items such as the Nesut Nectar Stingless Bee Honey, the drops in the jar, the Phyto Omega 3, the Sotriol D vitamin D3 tablets, chlorella, as well as Phyto Omega 3. All of those are available in the DHA too. But yeah.
Anyway, I'm ending it. I see some people want me to ask their questions. I'm ending the show, y'all, unfortunately, so I can't get to your questions. Is there any way they can reach out to you with questions if they have them, KT?
Yeah, just info at soionicbotanicals.com. Info at soionicbotanicals.com. I'll be setting up a FAQ on the site soon. That's going to just answer some basic things, and then I'm going to have something set up on IG. They got this thing you can do now for people coming in and asking questions and stuff. I'm gonna have that set up, but for now, just info at So Ionic Botanicals. After y'all put the coupon code in and get y'all products or whatever, there's an email link there too. Go ahead and hit the email and y'all can send the questions there.
Indeed. Also, family, make sure y'all get your ticket. This Sunday is going down. Blueprint for GodPower Part 2 featuring Dr. B. Serious and Billy Carson.
I seen him today.
Dr. B. Serious?
Yeah, I ran into him today.
Okay, where y'all was at?
At Bobby Price.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He had an interview there.
Yeah, he
came in right after me.
Dope. Yeah,
So
dope.
I got to see him and chop it up with him real quick,
Yeah, Bobby Price, he got a YouTube channel? Because I keep hearing his name.
He's you don't know Dr. Holistic?
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you his IG. Yeah, so Bobby Price like Superman, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a brother that was over on the other side of the medical industry, and he crossed over. It's probably been 12, 13, probably 13, 14 years, maybe 15 to be solid. Let's say about 15 years ago. And he has a farm where he got it's called I Heart Fruit Box, and they grow soursop, sugar apple, all the tropical fruits, and ship them all over to people.
Dope.
He got a couple books, great knowledge. He was on High Level Conversations.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, 19 Keys got him. He talks about the sanitarians, the blue zones, the areas where people live over 100 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He a beast, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up tonight.
Yeah, look him. I'm gonna send you. I'll send you his IG page. Yeah,
definitely.
You definitely want to bring him on here.
Oh yeah, now that okay, yeah, now that
I thought you knew, bro. My bad.
Nah, definitely gonna look the brother up.
He has a podcast, and he invited me to come on there and speak, and Dr. B was also one of his guests, so we ran into each other, and I got to exchange with him real quick. Yeah,
indeed, man. So once again, KT, thank you for everybody viewing, watching tonight. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, family, with Dr. Wesley Muhammad.
Yes.
So tune in tomorrow. Dr. Wesley Muhammad is going to be on here live at 9 o'clock. All right, family. With that being said, shout out, family. Y'all have a good night. Peace, family.
Peace.